And I'm gonna be honest, man. I didn't know how you were gonna, growing up the way that you grew up,
Yeah.
right? And I know this because I see it. Growing up the way that you grew up, right, with everything that you could have ever wanted, because you have good parents
Yes.
that will do anything for you. The same way that no matter status in any chart of finance,
Good support system, yes.
yeah, right, like that support system. Like I didn't know how you were going to be, how you were going to react to sitting on the bench. And this is a conversation that I had with your dad, because I called your dad before I called you. When we were going down the route of picking our team, and they told us you need to have a sixth player, not just a coach. Or you can have a coach, but he could be your sixth player.
Man, yeah.
I'm like, no, we're gonna take the safety precautions. We're gonna do the right thing, and we're gonna get a sixth man, right? A
star caliber player in case anything goes wrong.
Right. Look, we have personalities on our team, right?
Yeah.
But I wanted to make sure that the person that was next up to bat was gonna be able to hold his own. So as we were looking through the field, we talked to certain, people who just, it was just us. They were waiting to see where they were going to go or were going to end up. So we're like, we got to move quick. We got to, we're the last to this thing. And as we were going to, I'm like, I thought of you, and I'm like, man, this guy's nasty. Like, obviously, like everybody knows that. So I'm like, I'm going to call his dad first to see where he's at. Then I didn't want to call you and sort of get you out of your decision making, whether you're going to go start somewhere else or you were going to stay there, because I know that the allure that this brings to whatever. So I called your dad, and I'm like, what's Jordan's plan? Do you think that he would be okay to be on the bench? And your dad's like, you'd be surprised, man. Like he would. And your dad's going to say what he's going to say. You're his son, right? He's going to whatever. But I still have my doubts on how you were going to transition from being like the guy to being on the bench, knowing that you could, be out there, right? So, like, how has that been personally, and where do you find the sort of strength to be like, this is a moment in my life that I have to go through?
Okay, so just a little rewind. We talked about Infinite Warfare. I become known as a star player, whatever, and another situation would happen. The same thing would happen in EW. Outside influences gotten in the with my team, right? And I would have to rebuild again in World War II, and dark times, World War II. For everyone, dark times. I literally got...
Like, even World War II was the dark time for certain.
I honestly, I was at the lowest point, and like I was like depressed and dark, all that stuff, and I was still getting top 12. Top 12 was a bad placing by my standards, but man, even at my low, like I was still getting top 12. Yeah. And coming from the open bracket, I wasn't in pool play because I wasn't in the league because of Code Blues and all that stuff, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, dark times. So that was a short summary, but now in Black Ops 4, this is my redemption year, because literally at champs we didn't do well, top 24 whatever. Like I was like, dude, I can't go out like this. Like I was able to go to a different orgs. Like I was like, my parents even told me to leave, but I was like, I can't do it. Like this is something I wanted to end off as E6 of the last year, because I already knew franchising was coming, as I heard the rumors. And I was like, they were like, yeah, you should go, because I was offered by different people and I could have made teams, but they didn't want the players I wanted to play with.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so...
And your dad also could have gotten a team, if he wanted to.
Yes, yeah. And then the people that said, oh yeah, like they couldn't have bought the team, Activision wouldn't want them. Like, the short story short, we could have gotten one.
Yes.
But against for me and for my family, I didn't want to be tied to something anymore. Like, it was supposed to be about me, because whenever you own something, like one thing I would want to say is, like, you can't be the owner, CEO of something and then try to be a competitor, because if you say like, oh yeah, he's playing good or whatever, like, oh no, you're just saying that because like he's the owner, or like my parents would say like, he's like the best on the team because statistically he is, but he's like, oh, you're just saying that because
you own the team and that's your son.
You own the team. So you can never win.
Yeah.
But going on with that, Black Ops 4 was the year I was putting my all, because you had one chance to qualify for the league, one chance, and the PLQ was everything. If you didn't qualify, it was just over, and I knew that going in, because that's why I fielded the team with the team I chose. So I would get number one out of every single player out of 80 players, because there's the 4 teams that qualify. I was number one on Saturday. Number one statistics as an ICR player, which is a person that's watching over your teammates. I'm not on the front lines, so I'm watching over you, getting the highest amount of damage, and my teammate was number 2.
Yeah.
So I go in there and I'm like, I got my name back. Like this is what I needed to do, and I did it. And like that tournament literally meant everything to me. And because I was getting so much crap, and everyone's saying you're not going to make the league, like your team's horrible, you're bad, like just quit already or whatever, like just the standard shit talk. So I would qualify for the league, get a couple top sixes, and then I would get top 4 at champs as I literally put everything into that tournament. And I would get those 1.2s that everyone plays for, and those V-Line man cards and those player cards everyone talks about. I give it to you. Like, I give you your decent blue placings, I give you your 1.2s, I give you all this, and then at the end, nothing. Because as of right now, I'm with a really good group of guys. Like how you said, like as you wouldn't know, but I wouldn't have been a sub for any other team except for this team, and I told you that. Like, if it wasn't for you and Scump and Formula, as you said, like they wanted me as their subs and the team as well, like I would have been done. I would have been pursuing my different dreams. Like I wouldn't be here at all. And so I have to say thank you to you guys. Yeah. But yeah, I literally wouldn't be here. Like even if I was offered as a sub for other teams, I wouldn't have took it. Like I just wouldn't have. So with that being said, like my mindset with how you said how transitioning, how it'd be, like I don't look at it as like I failed. I don't look at it as all this stuff. Like if I had a really bad year last year and it wasn't doing really well statistically, I would have been like, yeah, dude, like politics, like thank God I got a sub spot. Thank God, like I'm blessed to still be in the league. But no, that's not how it happened. Like I checked off every single thing, and unfortunately I didn't win an event, but I did the best what I could with players, because I wasn't blessed enough to say, oh, I played with slashers. I played with freaking the best at their prime, and I always had to pick from, I had to have my own original teams of amateurs. Then I had to pick up other players that weren't known, and then I had to get Decimate, Bevels, and Dashy when they were just on their come up because of politics and outside influences and Infinite Warfare. And then after World War II, all the stuff, middle of the year, I picked up a BZ, and then Sender, and then Diabolic. And then I had to rebuild again because outside influences is trying to destroy my team. So then I had to build a whole new team coming into Black Ops 4, and then try to do the best what I could, get them as structured as they could possibly be, try to lead them in the best direction, and then got top 4. So I literally checked off on all those things, and what did that get me? Literally on the bench. And this world, this scene is all about who you know, not about what you know anymore. And if I would have to say something to like the people that are coming up, like you said in the previous, like yeah, you have to be talented, but you have to build your connections. You have to put yourself out there. Yeah. Learn from me, and you don't take the whole, like, don't try to have the mindset as like always like take the world on head on. I would also say, just make sure that you're prepared to put you're all into it. Cause I literally put my all into it, like 14-hour days. Like I would literally just go in private matches with no bots, no nothing, and just practice like centering spots, wallbang spots, like just by myself, like over and over, like Batman, like practicing like things in his head. And, like I was going crazy, making sure I was putting everything in the champs. Cause like I said, in World War II, I wasn't going out without a fight, and I did it. I came back. I went up against all odds, and I did it. No one can say that but me. Yeah.
And no amount of help, no amount of nothing.
No amount of money, nothing.
When you're on stage, it's just you and your devices. It's sad in a sense that like you and your family have had to gone through that, but it's the state of shitty ass players in Call of Duty, right? Like these little fucking morons, right? That had opportunities, they just squandered the fuck away. They fucking sit on Twitter all day, goddamn long, talking shit, nothing else to do.
They wake up
and then they play the fucking victim when somebody fucking snaps back. That's what gets me the most. Like in the 90s, they would have not made it a single fucking week without somebody approaching them a certain way, right? And that's what annoys me. Like the accountability has sort of gone away because of Twitter and online. And the only way that you can cope in your head with shit that's being said is the fact that you're like, people like that are always going to end up in a certain place. People like that are always going to end up in a certain place. the amount of people, right, that don't see they don't see the full playing field. They just think that esports is all winning in that side. It's not yet, right? We're still building. So there will come the time where winning is everything, right? Right now is brand building, personality building, trying to get the right org sort of status to be able to get partnerships and sponsorships. And sponsors don't want to deal with fucking morons and stupid and just like bad people. They want to make sure that their advertising dollars are being spent on a good. I've for the longest time, right? And I say it to this day. If Nate would have never retired, he would still be playing for it. That's my boy. You know what I mean? If Scump ever declines in skill, he's never not gonna be my player. Or you know what I mean? Like I'm never gonna drop him. Like it is about networking, right? It is. It is about networking. It for example, all right, and we had a conversation about what the Challengers prize pool was gonna be, and I read off the list. I read the list, and I'm like, all right, let's remove get the meet and greet with the team. Like, and I told the social guys, I'm like, these guys meet them all the time. And then Andy brought up a really, really good point that changed my whole viewpoint on it. He's like, but it's not for them, right? Like, it's for the people who haven't gotten to play against Scump and who got, like, what if one of them has a Cinderella story? Yeah. They get to meet the team, they get to network, and they get to, you know what I mean? Like, that's the sort of, if I see somebody I always keep my eye on everybody. Exactly. If you're a fucking prick in Black Ops 2, I remember it today. Yes. Right? In the dark days of Optic, if you did something wrong to my team, I remember it to this fucking very day. And it'll never go away. No. Right? Like, you can say you changed, you can say you've grown, you can say whatever the fuck you want, but I remember it clearly, and you
don't forget.
I forgive.
But you don't forget.
But I'll never forget. Shout out to my boy. I love Crim6. That's not a jab at him.
No, not at all.
But it's that sort of thing that did. And I'm like, damn, you're right. I told Andy, I'm like, yeah, just leave it in there. You're right. But then the amount of people, and it was the pro players that were like fucking like talking shit about it. It's not for fucking you. No. Right? If it's not for you, and if it doesn't apply to you, shut the fuck up.
Exactly. Like, I got my own opinions. Like, dude, like, you're talking like to the person that, and people were kind of like roasting me, but I had my own side DMs with people, and I actually made them understand, like, for me, that people that are saying like, oh yeah, like they already know it, like who's ever going to be that good, it doesn't need to have the meet and greet. But I completely disagree. You're talking to the person sitting here right here that has done all the stuff, like good placings, beat almost every single player to ever play in Call of Duty as a professional. Yeah. And I'm sitting here still struggling with the connections and the politics and people going behind my back and ruining my opportunities to play with players because they're all jealousy and just pure negativity and going behind the scenes, and there's tens and there's Skype calls and there's Discord calls and trying to make like my life a living hell because I literally put everything into COD. And if I even if like I have the person has the same achievements or has the same like even though like I was doing this back then coming up, and I get to even meet you or Scump or whatever, I'm like, I don't even care about the money. Like, let me talk to these guys. Let me know them. Like, I might even get a follow. I might even get put in, like, play with them. I might even, like, do content with them. Like, you don't know where those things can come. And, like, that's why I made a tweet, because I was mind blown on how the people would be like, this is just disrespectful.
It's not for them.
That's not for them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally mind blown how some of these people were literally roasting. And I was just sitting there like, dude, I must transcended like my whole other side of the spectrum mind. Like, I'm like sitting here as a guru, like, dude, like, don't be dumb. Yeah. Like, come on now. Like, I would love that.
Above anything else, whether it's for you or it isn't for you, like, there's certain way. Like, I get it, right? It might not be for some people, but it is for some people. And if it doesn't apply to you, move on. Care about that. Complain about the $10,000. Yeah, we changed it. Right, compare. Complain about that. Don't compare about something that's not. If you don't want to meet the team because you already met them, all good. Right. If you don't want, to spend a little bit of time with people who may be like, oh, this is fucking good. Oh, he's a good person. Like, this dude's cool. I hung out with him. He had good vision into the future. He talked to the coach, and the coach, whatever. Yeah. Talk to Andy. You know what I'm saying? a person that can literally change your life in the future, whether it's professionally in game or professionally outside of the game. That's the sort of networking that you need to do in this goddamn space. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it just bothers me because
it's cringy.
It is, man.
Yeah.
And I don't. The thing is this: it's like I can sit on Twitter and just jab back and throw low blows all day long. And everybody's gonna like it because Hex is being savage, awesome, right? Or I'm like, oh shit, like he has no hold. I could literally fucking jab back every single day and make you look stupid, but I choose not to do that because it just doesn't help anybody in that situation, right?
No.
Because although 10,000 people are gonna retweet what I said and they're gonna be cheering, there's still gonna be 100 people who are gonna be like, maybe you shouldn't do shit like that. And I agree with those 100 people. You know what I mean? I get the entertainment side of it. I get the WWE format that some of this thing goes on. When we landed from London, you took an Uber. When we landed from London, and Seth was about to tweet out. I don't remember what he tweeted out because you didn't come. He was like, "Yo, can I tweet this?" Formal, who's sitting next to me, is like, "Hell yeah, tweet that shit. It's gonna be funny as hell." I'm like, "Careful, right?"
Yeah.
A tweet from you means something completely different because your following isn't just Call of Duty.
He's an icon. He's a gaming icon.
It transcends.
Yes.
You hitting somebody is not the same way as a 100,000 follower person hitting somebody.
No.
You hitting somebody online means a shit ton. So careful with what you tweet. And he said,
okay.
All right. Right?
Yeah.
Because it is different.
Yes.
And in our position, like we sort of have to not defend ourselves because then it seems like bullying at some point, and you never want to do that. Anyway.
But if you don't stick up to the bullies.
Oh yeah. No, trust me. I do. I almost make it a point to, man. It's just I hate that I have to in some scenarios. Anyway. Anything else you want to discuss, man? Something that we forgot to discuss?
I mean, talk about my support system. I mean, just,
shout out to your parents, man, because it wasn't just your support system.
Yeah.
It was everybody. It was you and everybody else. Because again, they didn't have to do all the kind things that you guys did, and only to be torn to pieces in some cases.
Yeah, I mean, very selfless of them, and you definitely got a lot of experiences that you couldn't learn anywhere else.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like when it comes down to that kind of stuff, like I could go on for hours, but I don't know. I just think that.
You think your dad will come on the podcast? Maybe
sure.
I'll ask him.
Yeah.
You think he would?
I think he would.
I think if you guys want a follow up, obviously interview with General's dad, I personally think it'd be a good idea to sort of see it from a businessman's perspective, though we saw from Andy, but from his perspective, something completely different because it's like your family that you're trying to help, and by extension, helping out an entire community of sorts.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, right? Like, and it brings me back to the challengers thing. We were gonna be damned if we did or damned if we didn't. So we just said, let's try to do the meetup for the people who want it, and everybody else who's already met the guys is not gonna give a fuck. They will understand that it's not for fucking them.
No.
And I get that maybe that paired with the fact that it was only $10,000, like it did something, but it was a flip of a switch for us to make it what it was. I think that the Challengers division has like a lot going for them, but at the same time, there's a couple of obstacles that we have that we as owners and league have to sort of get through before we're able to truly provide for them what we could provide for the right things to provide for them. Anyway, I don't have anything else, man. I do appreciate you coming on. I know it's super early for you.
Yeah,
a little bit.
A little bit.